The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business. From $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters at Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate. I'm Tim Calloway. We have a very special guest for you today from the wonderful state of Tennessee, specifically Knoxville, Tennessee. Hey, and we've got Haley Jones, the toughest realtor you're ever probably going to talk to. Haley, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk with you.
Yeah, this would be great. Your story is fascinating, and I'm looking forward to the listeners and viewers getting to hear that. So why don't we just go ahead and start at the beginning? How did you get started in real estate, and specifically, what did you do before that? I'm sure everybody wants to hear the story. I think people are burning now.
Well,
Wait a minute.
sorry.
Wait a minute. What's going on? Go ahead.
Well, so I started in real estate of March of 2020, which is like a very interesting time to start. I didn't actually plan that to coincide with COVID. It just happened. But I was previously a high school math teacher and also, as you're alluding to, a professional wrestler. So I
Awesome.
basically, I have this like entertainer, performer, athletic side to me. And so I wrestled, and then COVID happened and that kind of shut everything down. Although now I'm thinking like, maybe I'll go back. I don't know.
Do it.
The idea of, well, my coach told me I'm too old.
No. I still coach wrestling.
Well, yeah.
I realize it's totally different. It's totally different
totally
what you
different
do in the ring and what I do on the mat,
Yes.
I get it. Totally.
Yeah, no, I think the idea of like going back into the ring feels like, because getting like in ring shape.
Yeah.
It's like after a while it doesn't hurt anymore, but the first 6 months it's gonna hurt a lot. So
Right.
anyway,
and you like your knees.
What'd you say?
And you like your knees.
I know, and you know what's so stupid is I never wore knee pads, and I have horrible knees. Like I have horrible knees.
Oh.
But I didn't like having to pull at them. I didn't like them being in the way. Yeah, I hate them. So, which is so dumb. Because now, like, yeah, my knees are super sensitive. Like I could have my knee bent and it's touching my jeans and my knees hurt. So it's stupid. Gotcha. That being said, if I do go back, I will wear knee pads. But anyway, so cool. I was doing that. I have like a background. I mean, I have all kinds of background stuff that I've done, but essentially I was in education. My goal was to be a superintendent, like change the face of education and blah, blah, blah. It's a whole long story. And I just realized like I went and worked like at the district level. So I was doing like high level program management and realized it was like way too political. And that if I were going to change things, it was not going to be from within inside a big operation. That's a machine on a train track. Like it's happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's going to take something outside of the system, I think. So anyways, I thought about real estate for a long time. And finally my husband was like, just do it. And I was like, well, I don't want to be like a used car salesperson, and he's like, Haley, just try it. If you don't like it, So anyways, I tried it and now it's, 2.5 years later and I've done pretty well. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I saw your name up there with the likes of Avery Carl and some other people that I know very well. And
yeah.
It's pretty exciting. That's exciting. Really.
Yeah. It's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So we talked about how you started, how you're the smartest and toughest realtor on the block, so I'll stay away from Knoxville if I want to get in trouble. So tell me about today. I mean, here now you cut your teeth a little bit, you got into it, you know what's going on, the score. What's your day-to-day like? I mean, how are you getting listings and what's going on there? Are you a solopreneur on a team or?
So I have just added a team member. I'm officially now a team as of about a month, I guess, since actually, mid-September, probably. I added an agent. So now I meet with her every morning at 8:30. And so that's like start of the day. And then I miss interviews I'm supposed to be on because I have
Sure. Yeah.
work
I'm
calendar
glad
meeting.
adding a team member has helped free up some of your time.
Yes. So anyways, yeah, no.
You might have been a little late for those of you who
Yeah,
don't know.
a little
It's
bit.
okay
Yeah, I
though.
might
It's
have been a
okay.
little bit late. Anyways, so 8:30, I usually get started. That's with my new team member. I also have hired several VAs through like a company called Sevier Rocket. So anyways, I've worked with them to add on some VAs like by way of a bookkeeper and admin person, and then
Perfect.
a social media person who kind of does back end stuff. So I do a ton of social media content creation. I probably spend at least an hour a day on that. And then my VA social media person kind of repurposes stuff based on where I post it. So anyhow, an hour at least a day of, content creation. I've hired a coach. I work with Krista Mayshore, and I've done the work, but I contribute a lot of my success to basically doing what she tells me to do.
Of course.
By way of marketing. And I do 10 video text messages a day, at a minimum, to Sevier, to people that I've met, to potential, leads, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then I also send a ton of like mailers. I run a home valuation ad through Facebook. Those people are also called now by my team member, and we also send them a home valuation. We send them just several touches in the mail. So anyways, I mean, that's kind of like daily, just
day to day.
generating. Yeah. And then
It's
obviously
work.
showings, yeah, etc.
It's the new boots on the ground, right? I mean, the way we do it digitally, and there's still a lot of hand pressing and hello and meetings. So
right.
yeah, so some things change and sometimes they don't. They just look different, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
For sure.
awesome. So let me ask you a couple of trick questions now that you're you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and got the Java going. Now I can throw the curveballs at you and get you thinking.
Let's go.
Let's go. So if I had a magic wand, and I could come into your life and say, Haley, I'm here at your office. What can I fix for you? What would that be?
Oh.
She's like, I have a list.
Oh. Do I have a list? What I need what people call like an integrator. I need someone that can take my brain and make it systematic, which probably sounds dumb. Like as a teacher, like in the classroom, I had systems like this is how this works. But it took me years to get there, because eventually I knew like, this is how kids are going to move. This is how this is going to happen. Like, so I can anticipate.
Right.
And I'm not there yet. Like I'm 2.5 years in, and I have all this creative stuff I want to do. And like, for example, even something as simple as like home anniversaries.
Right.
I want it to be super, super special and super like, specific to the person, but I'm finding that's not necessarily manageable.
Right.
And so stuff like that, where it's like, I have all this creative stuff I want to implement and do, I'm having a hard time putting systems around it. And then I switched brokerages, about a year in. And of course, as a new agent, it was like, your CRM is your gold and blah, blah, blah. So my CRM was like perfect. And then I switched brokerages, but by that time I had like business, right? And so now it's just a Google sheet, which I'm embarrassed to admit. But the idea of like trying to get all this information I have about all these people into a system, I mean, is just, so
I understand completely.
Yeah. So that's what I need help with, is like systems, which people, and I mean, people are like, well, Haley, use Asana, use Slack, use Trello. I'm gonna be honest, I can't stand that. I can't stand it. Like I can't, my brain doesn't think that way. I could think about 4 different ways to put a Trello board.
Right.
Like I can't, so I just need someone who can just do it.
Right.
So.
Well, I may have a magic wand for that actually, or at least put you in touch with someone who can. So those are actually solvable problems.
Yes.
Because you wouldn't believe the things I hear. So I don't ask that question of everybody, but because I think you're creative and system, like you were saying, all the things you did, I was like, she's got to have some things that, she wants to work out. Not
Yes.
everybody does. Some people are like, oh gosh, if I could get better gas mileage. And I'm like, wow,
Oh,
is that really important? But okay, I can't help you. So
I mean, if that's what you want, that's what you want. But I have also a hard time with like hiring people because
yeah,
like I taught myself how to do all this, or I went and figured it out, or I hired someone to teach me. So I have a really hard time with people who I'm just like, go do it. Like
yeah,
I
right.
don't like figure it the frick out.
I
And
didn't
so
hire you to teach you how to do it. I hired you because you can do it. Hopefully, can do it.
yeah,
So, well,
right.
awesome, awesome. So let's put our prognostication hats on real quick and
Okay.
start predicting the future here.
Yes.
What does the next, let's say the next 1, 3, or 5 years look like for you? You're still, even though you're very successful, you're doing very well. Obviously, you're still in a learning process, right? It's always learning, always learning, always learning.
Right.
With that being said, and we may have answered this a little bit already, what does the next year look like? Then the next 3 years, and then what's the ultimate, end game goal?
Um,
Gotcha.
I'm afraid to say the truth. Well,
Never. The truth
ideally, I
shall
mean,
set you free.
well, I want to be on the creation side of things. I want to
Okay.
be on the lead gen side of things.
Okay.
And less in the weeds of like transaction to transaction. I love creating stuff. I love doing video. I love all that content. I like all of that. I dislike people calling me about their home warranty. Like it's like figure it out. Like
Yeah.
I don't have tolerance for that. And I find myself feeling like, oh my gosh, I should know about XYZ home warranty or whatever. And I don't. Why would I know that?
Yeah.
And then it's just a bad spiral, right? And so, and part of it may just be me trying to figure out like what are boundaries. So I think, there's that too. It's like I'm trying to just jump when people ask me like random trash that I have no reason for knowing.
Yeah.
So it's like a weird balance of, customer service. But honestly, what I would like to do is be building content around like the Haley Jones Home Team brand.
Mhm.
And being a source of lead generation, and then have a team that primarily does like the transactional side of things. When it comes to like when people are relocating into Knoxville, it's great. However, I find myself spending multiple hours with people who may or may not ever move here, which on one hand is super helpful, right? Because
Yeah.
they need that. That's a service that they need. However, that's time I'm not spending working on stuff that would actually generate like money. So
You need an
anyways,
intro specialist.
yeah. So
Yeah.
anyhow, I really want to be on the creative side of things and less on in the weeds, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
So if you were getting, I don't know how many actual quote unquote leads you get a month, like where people contact you, and say, hey, I'd like to sit down and talk, because I find it fascinating, that hearing these things from realtors is, if you get 10 a month and you really think about it, you could spend a good 20 hours or more just finding out what is it you want, and sometimes they don't even know, right?
Right.
We don't even know who or what they are, and and
Right.
everybody's different, and it could take a lot of time,
Mm,
so eventually you do want to get to that point where someone's filtering that for you, and then
right.
you're doing the work, or somebody else is doing the work, whatever it may be, and then you're going in and hopefully closing the deal, whatever it might
Mhm.
be.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's
Well,
awesome.
and I mean, I don't like
Yeah.
there's this weird kind of dynamic of people who like I want to work with the people that want to work with me. I don't
Right.
want to be in a position where like I'm annoying someone or someone doesn't trust me. Do you know what I mean? And
What
so
are
it's
you
like I don't
saying? Why would people think that? They don't think that.
No, people think that all the time. Are you kidding? I mean, I
Oh
get
my
so
God.
much just like
I
hate
must I must be an
on
idiot.
social media, like, which is fine. I know that's part of it. That's part of putting yourself out there. However,
Yeah.
like, thanks for the engagement. I'm moving on. Like, that being said, like, I don't want to, like, I recently had a seller who, he was unhappy about paying commission. And I'm like, well, why did you hire me to begin with? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, I don't want to be in that. And so that's why I do a lot of the creative stuff, is because I find people that they resonate with me. Like, I'm not a fit for everyone, and for others, I'm a great fit. So like, I want to attract those people, and I don't want to deal with like people that are just rude or hateful or unkind, you know?
Put that on your social media. By the way, don't call me if you're rude and hateful. That's what I would say. I mean, I wouldn't put it like that. I would just be
Right.
like, we have to define. I'm not telling you what to do at all.
Yeah, no, you're good.
As a matter of fact, after the show, stick with me for about 1 minute, and I'll tell
Yeah.
you funny stuff. But I literally, you have to create who you want to work with. You know,
Yes.
create your avatar, whatever it might be,
Mhm.
and seek those people out. However, your marketing. I've seen some of your marketing is
Right.
great. You know, it's enjoyable. You know, your YouTube, your videos are great. So yeah, you definitely want to carve that out, right? You definitely want to carve that out. And then hopefully you get to the point where your sphere looks
Mhm.
like
Right.
what you want to work with. And they're
Right.
out there. That just takes
Yeah.
time, you know, and
Right.
I think you're doing a great job of getting there. How would someone get in touch with you, Haley? How would someone get in contact with you?
Text me, call
Text you?
me.
Okay.
Give me a
Whatever.
call. I'm on social. I'll throw my number out here right now.
Throw
Everyone
it
has
out.
it's 865-242-9821. Give me a call. I'm your person.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, it's all over the place. Literally, it's all over the place. And people are always like, "What do you mean you give your number out?" I'm like, "Well, I'm a real
Why
estate
wouldn't
agent."
you?
Yeah, exactly. So
You've
I
already
want,
given us your life story,
yeah, I
where you
want people
work.
to find me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Why wouldn't you give your number? People are hesitant about that. They're like, oh, do I give my number? And I'm like, well, I don't know. You want people to call you? If you don't, you know, and if you do,
well, I
do.
think too, like one of my very first years of teaching, I worked at like a charter school, and we
Right.
had a work phone, and they
Mhm.
could call until whatever time at night, and then it like turned off. And so ever since then, I'm like, just have my regular number. It's fine. Like,
Yeah. Right.
anyways,
I mean,
yeah,
people nowadays are available at weird hours. People work different
yeah,
schedules. It's just weird. So here's one thing I always do, Haley.
yeah.
Uh, I always give the last minute or so to the guest, which you are,
Mhm.
and really just say what you want, whatever's on your mind, on your heart, on your soul, whatever it might be. And it could be about your pet, it could be about your favorite restaurant, and it could be about business. It could be about whatever you like. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
I just want to say, I think for me, a theme like through my career, whether it's wrestling or teaching or whatever it is, I think that there's great value in finding a coach. I think like aligning yourself with someone who has been successful, who has the mindset for success, is a game changer.
Right.
And that could be literally like a trainer, like in the gym, or that could be a business coach or whatever. And I say that because a lot of times I feel like we can get really in our heads. It can be really lonely, because even as a teacher, I was very rogue in the stuff that I did
Yeah.
and how I went about things. And I would just kind of like keep to myself. And that took me to become a senior teacher to realize like, no, I'm going to do things my way. And I realized in real estate, like I can be inventive and creative, but I've got to have the correct mindset and then also the tools. And by hiring coaches, by aligning myself with people that are more successful than me, it just automatically up levels me. And so I would say, you know, if you're in a position where you're feeling stuck or you need help, like sometimes you got to pay for that help, and it's well worth it. Like that investment will
Right.
pay itself tenfold. And so that's something for me. I think that like I don't know everything by any means. And I think sometimes when you make a career shift or you go out on your own, it feels very scary. But by investing in yourself by way of someone who's already done it, you can't help but be successful. So that's my,
Nice. Yeah.
whoever needed to hear that, there you go.
Fantastic. Haley, thanks so much for being on the program today. I look forward
Yeah.
to, catching up with you in the next 3, 6, 9 months, seeing where you're at then.
Awesome. Cool. Hey, thank you.
We'll talk to you.
Bye.
Bye.